Let's talk Jake Moody. This game was supposed to mean nothing. It was basically supposed to come and go, and then you never think about it again. But Jake Moody missed 2 kicks, short ones, 38-yarder and an extra point, both wide right. Really an unfortunate thing to happen right before the playoffs. And it reminds us all that this was going on in the preseason as well, that he does have a very strong leg, but he may have some psychological issues. What do you think the issue is with Jake? Is it psychological? Is it physical? Is it an issue at all?
I don't think it's psychological just because I talked to him a couple times and I think he's a pretty solid kid, but I don't really care what his issue is. All I care is that he's got an issue and he's not making kicks. I mean, Shanahan said it and he was asked about the kicks yesterday and he's like, yeah, he's got to make them,
Not great.
And it's like, we can analyze it. And I'm not smart enough to say, well, he just didn't strike it on the right side of the ball or this or that. It just they're 27th in the NFL in field goal attempts. So they've gotten to this point, not because Jake's made a bunch. They've gotten to this point by winning just, are kind of around him. And he, yesterday left 4 points on the table. They would have won by a field goal. Instead, they lost by 1. And if that were the end of the season, there would be 10 times as many people with pitchforks in the chat right now going, what the hell, what the hell, what the hell? And there's 2 kinds of takes today. It's like the people that hope for the best and people that are a little bit more, concerned. I would put myself in the more concerned category. And I understand they don't want to insult him. They don't want to hurt his confidence. They want to go with him long term. Shanahan was asked about, do you want to make a switch? No, Jake's kicked well. But in reality, all I would say to anybody who's like, no, he's going to be fine is give me the pressure kick that he made this year. We're 18 games in or 17 games in 18 weeks.
I can think of a pressure kick he missed.
Yeah, I can too. And so that's a concern, especially when we all know that there's not going to be any acceptable reason why the 49ers don't reach the Super Bowl. And there's only going to be a couple acceptable reasons why they don't win it. So to me, this is a major concern.
It was funny. The idea of replacing Robbie Gould with a rookie always seemed a little ambitious. It's like, hey, you were telling us for years that Trey Lance couldn't play because this is a win now team. And now you're saying that you're going to win the Super Bowl with a rookie kicker. Okay, it could happen. The Niners did it in 94. But that team didn't need him to make pressure kicks in the Super Bowl. That team was the 94 Niners. I don't know. I think it was interesting that in justifying the pick that night, what did they say? We put him through a test that had so much pressure. There's no way you could simulate the pressure of a playoff run in a workout, but they thought they did. And now they're like, man, we thought we vetted this guy. Like, well, he's a kid.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not saying that they did anything wrong in their process because I don't know their process. I heard they made the ball wet. They ran him out there at the last second. All the things that you would think that you would do to create, hurdles and difficulty for the kicker. All I'm saying is they won despite him, not because of him this year. Yes, Doug Bryan was the rookie kicker on their last Super Bowl champion, but that team was so loaded and they didn't wind up needing him that year. I remember that year pretty well. And if you have no alternatives, it'd be one thing, but I mean, you got a guy who was just with you, who knows your culture, who has retired, but he was 39 of 39 on PATs, and he was 29 of 29 on field goals in the playoffs. And it's like the guy's never missed in the playoffs, and now you got a rookie, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, you know what? All the people that are against us or against me or against the idea of, man, maybe you got a real problem here are going to be standing shoulder to shoulder with me if the guy misses like 2 kicks next week or in the playoff game in the divisional round. So I don't know. I'm not saying you got to get rid of Jake and you got to go to Robbie Gould, but Man, you gotta at least find out where Robbie's at. You gotta find out if he's practicing. You gotta find out. You gotta do your due diligence. You got a phone call has to be made. You gotta send a guy out there. You gotta take a look. You gotta figure it out because I mean you cannot have this whole season derailed because the rookie kicker wets down his leg. And here's the thing, Grant. This is the West Coast on a day in California with no weather. And no playoffs, in a game that did not matter. He missed a PAT and a field goal in week 18. He knew this was the final tune-up. Every other game is you win, you move on, you lose, you go home. Season over. No backup, no net, no safety, anything. So, yeah, call me knee-jerk, say I'm getting over exercised about it. I can say whatever you want, and there are plenty of people that I'm sure feel that way watching this. But all I'm saying is it's a concern, and everybody, whether you support Robbie or support Jake or support any other kicker, when Jake goes to line up for that first kick in the divisional round, you are going to be holding your breath.
Well, look, I don't know what Robbie's up to, although I just checked his Twitter, and 5 days ago he said he took his first ever ski lesson. So maybe he's, he was on the bunny slopes,
right?
But I just tweeted at him right now, do you want to kick field goals for the 49ers in the playoffs? So we'll see. He's learning how to ski, but he's probably better at kicking footballs. So maybe he'll come back. It seems kind of personal between him and the 49ers. And I don't know if anyone can, relate to being replaced by a younger, cheaper person who's not as experienced. And you probably don't come in at the 11th hour and clean up his mess. What happens when he makes the mess is you're on a ski slope and you see it on your phone and you laugh privately. I would imagine that Robbie Gould probably got a kick out of what happened. Nothing against Jake. Good kid.
They know each other. He likes Jake. I mean,
yeah.
Jake,
Okay. I'll take it back then. I'll take it back then.
Yeah, they have a friendship or whatever. So I guarantee you he's not laughing, but I guarantee you he's aware of the situation.
It's like, oh, you want me to come back? My price tag just went up. Sorry. Oh, did I say 5 million? It was 6. I didn't write it correctly. I left a little